As the year's coming close to an end, where is it that you really want to be for next year and for the times to come? What does your success metric look like? Your goals that you want to attain. 3 things though I want you to take away before the year's over. Start thinking about it now and take actions on them. The first is your retirement, whether that's a Roth or a traditional, whether that's an IRA or 401k. They both operate in a similar way. It's just the IRAs limit you on $6,500 for the year of 2023. It's going to increase for 2024. You have until April 15th of 2024 to contribute towards the account for the year 2023. Max out your 401k if you can, because it's just the more pool you have right now in terms for retirement while the economy is not completely stabilized, going through these turbulences, the more you'll have of a return once it gets back to its norm. Therefore, you want to capitalize on these moments and try to max out as much as you can. If you can't max out, contribute as much as you are capable. The second thing, if you are able to put away anything towards these charitable organizations, whether it's donations or even gifts, like Salvation Army, they'll take items like old clothes, electronics that you may have, Goodwill as well, and you get a $500 tax credit. You get a tax deduction for giving to them at the same time. So something for you to think about. And the third thing is start budgeting for the end of the year to 2024, the entire year. How much do you want to allocate towards investments, leisure, your income that you're going to be coming in? What is your expected income? I find that when you plan for these things ahead of time, you are more likely to be successful for that year and actually attain these goals for the year to come. You don't have to wait. Your 2024 starts now. Bring them to life and think about what is it that you want to accomplish for the year to come, whether that's a new home, a new investment property, new business that you want to start. Bring the energy that you need, the motivation you need, so that way it becomes a reality. You can build the momentum, so that way when 2024 comes in January, you already had that head start and it's just business as usual. We're going to dive into the markets for a bit, but I really want you to put these thoughts in the back of your head. Stock market, S&P 500 right now is at 4,500. We are live. Year to date, it has performed 18% increase. So if you put towards one of these S&P 500 ETFs, right, this is more like what you would have gained across the years. If you know nothing about the stock market or investing, putting it into an ETF that is following these market trends, you'll be all right. Over the past year, it's still up 15%. Over 5 years, you up 70%. This is me not knowing anything about the stock market, just putting money in consistently. This is more likely of what a return that I would have. It's like a Dow. Year to date, it's up not as high, but it's up 5%. Over year course, 4%. 5-year mark, 43%. Still an increase in the uprise from where it has been. And NASDAQ, lastly, year to date, 35%. 1 year mark, 28%. 5-year mark, 100.3%, meaning it pretty much more than doubled. A lot of the tech stocks, more innovative stocks, as well as companies that are startups, they'll probably more likely fall into the NASDAQ, which is what makes it go up as higher, much more higher than the other ones. It's a little more risky, of course, because we know how it goes, right? More money, more problems. The more risk you take, the more likely you get a bigger return, but the more likely you could lose. For the most part, the market is up. As we can see, it's not down. It's not going in a negative trend. That is because the cycle of printing more money, inflation is uprising. It makes things be more expensive. Therefore, stocks are going to get more expensive, increasing in price, building a lot much more wealth, because that is what the wealthy do. They keep putting more money towards retirement, towards different investments inside of the stock markets, crypto, ETF, to keep blossoming their wealth. And don't get left behind. You want to make sure you stay upkeep with the same trends and patterns as well, because you can enjoy those same privileges that they also have. It's no longer a privilege. It's no longer limited to one particular society. You could literally open up Robinhood, Charles Schwab's account for free nowadays, and now they have no commission-based trading. I'm not a day trader, so I don't trade every single day, but you could buy some of these funds and it costs you nothing. Unlike before, you have to pay like $7, $8 commission per transactions that you were doing. Some stocks we'll look at, PBR, right now it's at $15.88. I think I bought this around 15. The reason I have this stock is a friend of mine told me about this. I met and the dividends are high. Look at this, 18% over a year. So every month you'll earn about 1.5% on the money that you have sitting there, which is not bad of a return. It's higher than inflation. It's pretty good compared to like market average, which they tell you as a rule of thumb, 7 to 10% is ideally where you want to be at. But I do be a bit more aggressive. I try to get 15% as much as I can. Grayscale, love me some Grayscale. I strongly believe in the company as it links all of its stocks is pretty much linked to some crypto. So as crypto market goes up, the Grayscale stocks will go up as well. But it does have some correlation with the stock market at the same time. So if the stock market shoots up and crypto at the same time, you get the best of both worlds with Grayscale. Like Litecoin, for example, it peaked at $300 per share. $500 per share. So you're looking at like almost a 90x, 80 to 90x from its current price right now. I'm not saying this is going to happen. It's likely. That's what I'm banking on, because there's a lot of factors that goes into this, and it would have to reach back the market cap of the billions of dollars that it had prior. It's a possibility, right? Everything is so low. You just get in, buy things conservatively, diversify as much as you can, so that way you lower your risk but still have good returns at the same time. Meta has reached 52 weeks high as of, I think, a few days ago, which is pretty nice. Year to date, it's up almost 3x. I purchased Meta around $90 whenever they did that layoff back around this time last year in November. There was a lot of uncertainties because companies were borrowing money like crazy with the assumption that their stock prices would continue to shoot up. Eventually, that bubble popped, which is what caused a lot of layoffs to happen. But we see inflation has taken a pause, meaning the Feds feel confident now. They are starting to level things off. They're not confident that the economy is completely back to normal. They're just confident for where they're at right now with the current interest rates, which has caused the mortgage rates to drop a little bit. So 2 weeks ago, it was almost 8%. Now it's at 7 3/8, right? The 30-year fix is around this part. What happens is with mortgages, 5 1/4 is where the Feds are at right now. So the mortgage lenders, they have to make some form of profit on top of that. So anything over the 5% is more in the profit that they work with their partners and all this stuff to make some form of money. That is why the mortgage rates are higher than the Fed rates. But they might get competitive if the rates stay fixed at the point where they are at right now. So at the 5 1/4, they might compete against each other. One might say, I'll give you a rate at 7% or 6 3/4 because they want you to come to them versus the other competitor. Therefore, it may bring in more mortgage application, right? Because, for example, if you have 100 people that are paying like this 7 3/4, right? 7 3/8 rate. But if you bring your prices down to 6 3/4 and you attract 200 people now, your profits is still good because you're attracting more people to actually sign up for the mortgage. This is why some lenders may be looking to do that, so that way they can attract more and more people. Back to markets. Netflix is really getting back close to that $700 mark it was at before. I'm looking forward to it. I bought around $190 per share last year when it really slowed down, but I believed in it because I didn't think the entertainment world is going anywhere. People need it. It's more of a necessity that I see. Just like we need our iPhones, if we don't have the entertainment, I feel like we're gonna go away. And Netflix is king right now when it comes to the streaming wars. It's dominating a lot much more of the market cap. Coinbase is another one. I was happy to see that it's now back over $100 per share, which provides us a good rhythm and pattern when it comes to crypto. It just gives you a sign that crypto is making a slight comeback. Like I always say, before you know it, you're going to see Bitcoin at 100,000 and you're not even going to see it and feel it. It's just going to sneak up on you. That's why you want to make sure you stay consistent in investing and holding on to your investments and don't just let them go despite the circumstances and the turmoil that you may see around you. Do not let fear and these negative thoughts control your investment moves, because that is the time for you to really capitalize on these things. Year to date, they're up almost 3 times. So if you bought Coinbase around $35 a share, I think I purchased around $40 or $50. Xpeng, a Chinese company that's into the whole car space as well, EVs. I believe in it because I saw that they had the flying cars. It's nothing that's in the tomorrow. It's not going to happen next year. But in the long term, I do believe they're going to capitalize on a good market share as that becomes a much more adopted technology, a way of transportation. Year to date, they're up pretty nicely. I bought more around like $7 $8 per share when it dipped down last year. Look at Bitcoin. From where it was at, if we look at from the 6 mark, it's up 40% from a year ago. It more than doubled, right? It was down to 15,000 and change. And look at the price it's at right now. And it kind of sneaked up on us. It went to 20,000 and next thing you know, 25, then 30. I'm like, when did it get to this price point? Over 37,000, close to 38,000. That's why you want to be consistent in your investments. Matic is doing pretty nicely. From its bottom recently in October 15, it's up quite a bit, close to 80 cents. And I think it got to almost $1 the other day. So these things are doing okay at the moment. Near, I love quite a bit. I have a lot of them. I bought more around when it got close to like $1.20 mark because I thought that is going to bounce back. They do have a good technology when it comes to providing stuff on the blockchain space as well as transactions. So I hope you found all this insightful. Continue to find encouragement. That's why I always say trust in Christ, trust in Jesus, because in the midst of all things that are going on, I don't put my faith in men. I put my faith in Jesus. Even with the markets going through all these turbulences, sometimes the fear can get ahead of your investments, influencing what you do buy, what you do invest in. When you have that calm of Christ, for me, I just stay my course of exactly where I'm trying to go, and I don't deviate from that goal at all. So peace and love. Like, share, subscribe if you did. Drop a comment if you have any questions or any thoughts, suggestions, things you'd like me for me to cover in the future. Peace, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for checking out my video. My goal is to be able to share as much knowledge, wisdom, experience that I've been given, privilege from God over the years, to be able to give that to you and also be able to receive from you as well. This can definitely be a two-way dialogue. It doesn't have to be one way at all. It's just for us to be engaged. And I'm just continuously sharing as things that I'm seeing move along the market. So I hope you find insights, and your feedback is greatly appreciated as well. How can you support me? Right now, I have these wristbands. You can get them at Luxtreaux.com. I've been selling them on eBay for quite some time. It just says make your statement. It's just an encouraging, inspirational message. You can purchase these right now, available on there. Eventually it will be spun off to other things and I'll have other products, but that's one way you can do right now. But most importantly is just making sure you receive something from the content I've given. And if you have any feedback, that is probably the most valuable thing I could say you can give to me. So I appreciate it, and I hope that we can continue to build a long-term relationship with each other and just grow with one another. Peace. And if you have any questions, definitely drop it below.